What up, friends? How are you doing? So I was busy doing my HEB run, yay, and running my errands or whatever. And I was watching podcast Bay, Sofa Time Talks with Tail. Wait, Sofa Time Talks with Kale, okay? And the question came up of, or somebody said, is Liv's baby real? I don't think the baby is real. Let me tell you why. Okay, I live in the state of Texas, and um, everybody knows my son is adopted. Okay, I adopted him. It was a 2.5 year process. I was still married at the time with my ex-husband. Okay, and we had a hood divorce where we just weren't living together, and we just never got around to getting a divorce. I was in another relationship, and so was my husband, my ex-husband, my first husband, and so um, so I couldn't adopt my son until I got a divorce because automatically in the state of Texas, if you are married to somebody, like I was married to my husband will automatically have rights to my adopted son. Even though he didn't adopt him, I was adopting myself. Because we were married in the state of Texas, you automatically get parental rights, and he can come later and try to take him away from me. I was like, don't worry, he's not going to do that. I wasn't even in contact with him. Like, we weren't even talking at the time. Like, he was living in the valley. So I was like, don't worry, he's not going to come pester. But it had been a long time coming. So I finally ended up getting a divorce. So the adoption couldn't go through until I got a divorce. Because, like I said, or my ex husband would have all rights, parental rights, because we were married. And in the state of Texas, if you are married and you adopt or have a child from somebody else, that child automatically, in the state of Texas, because you were married to somebody, that's becomes their parent, their other parent. Because in the state of Texas, if you are legally married, you automatically have rights to those children. Um, Unless you dispute it and say, I want a paternity test, because you will have to prove you are not the father. And the mother has to prove who the father is. Now, Liv is a conniving fucking bitch, okay? She might have not mentioned a child, and neither did Jerrod. So there is a chance that she did have a baby and just never brought it up in court. There is that chance, because that all has to be sorted out, because later on she can come and say, well, we have this other kid. I had this kid when we were still married. She can come later on and get, and fight him for it, just to be a nuisance, even though it's not his child. You know what I mean? So that's why I think either the child's not real, or it's somebody else's, or she just didn't mention it during divorce. Because if you remember, Jerrod was like, what baby? And then I also had a cousin of mine who also had a hood divorce. She was married to her first husband, and she didn't divorce him for a while. Okay, and I guess it's something we do. And So she was married, and she did have a child with somebody else. So before the divorce could be final, they had to clear that with the state of Texas, and she had to prove her ex boyfriend, the baby daddy, came to court to her divorce. Like, he had to go to court because they called them, because she said, I have this baby here, but it's not his, or whatever. They said, well, we need to make sure it's in writing that this is not his kid. So her boyfriend came to her divorce to confirm that he was the father of the baby. So that's how I know she either didn't bring it up, the baby's not real, or it belongs to somebody else. Because you have to, it can't be no gray areas. It has to be in black and white, and at least in this state, in the state of Texas. So I don't know if Jerrod brought up the baby in question, because I remember when somebody was asking him about the baby, he said, what baby? So then everybody was like, well, is the baby real? So I don't believe the baby is real, because, and let me tell you why. It's a stupid reason, but okay, when she was in labor and her sister was there recording, right? I've had arguments with my sister before, and my sister, when I forced her to do something for me, when I forced her to do something to me, the way she talks to me, she's like, there, I did it, like, even though we're grown, we're still like that, right? And if you notice, her sister's like, "Here we are. We're here. She's giving birth. She's about to have a baby. Here I am supporting you." Like, just her tone was very sarcastic. So that's why I never believed that her baby was real. And there's like rumors going around that she's using one of her subscribers' babies. So I wouldn't put it past her, because once you lie one time to me, I will never believe you. Okay. Well, I mean, people change, but she won't change. And I think that's why she tried to off her baby. I hate saying that, but she tried to off her baby and say it was an angel baby, because she was trying to, but it wasn't working. The mass, like, everybody was like, no, like, it wasn't gonna work. Her little story, her little angel baby story, remember? So she backpedaled and she decided to just not show the baby and use somebody's baby. It might even be her sister's baby. I don't know. I don't know. But I just don't see why do all of this? Why not just show him? So what if it's from Zolo? So what? You try to give him head on live. I'm going to say it again, okay? I'm bringing it up again. But I'm just like, I don't know. So anyways, in the state of Texas, if you have a child during your marriage, you have to, before the divorce is final, you have to say, it has to be in black and white. And the state of Texas has to know that your husband did not have that baby. Like, that did not, so that's how I know. And then, like I said, I adopted my son. I didn't even give birth to my son, but I was still married to my husband. And I had to get a divorce, or he was going to have all rights automatically. So if she didn't mention this baby in court, it would also, the baby would be mentioned in the divorce decree, stating that she did have a baby from somebody else. What is it, infidelity or whatever they call it? And he could have used that as a reason for a divorce. And he could have probably had it annulled because she cheated and had a baby. Instead of having a divorce. Well, I don't know, how long were they married? I can't really remember. But I think you can have an annulment if she cheated and then she had another baby, too, And he could have asked her for money for that, for, damages and stuff like that. But so even though that's not his baby, it still has to be in the divorce decree that during the marriage she went and canoodled with another man. Not in those exact words. Canoodled with somebody else and bore a child with somebody else. And that child does not belong to husband. It has to be in the divorce decree. So that's how they do it here in Texas, okay? And like I said, I was adopting my son. I didn't even give birth to him, but they said automatically, since I was married and I adopted him myself, my ex-husband wasn't even there with me during adoption, he automatically would have rights because he's my husband. So there you go. Bye-bye now.